Well, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me in the back? Yep. Great. I'm Fermin Rodriguez, the Managing Director of Smarter Commerce, and then also with us today on our team is Diego Fernandez. He's the Director of Product, and then our Sales Manager, Jerry Van Dalen. And then later on, we'll introduce our customer panel, which are 4 valued customers that are going to share some of their experiences with Smarter Commerce. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. The agenda for today, we'll have a brief introduction of Smarter Commerce, to give you some perspective on who we are, what our solutions are all about, keep it brief. Then we want to share some thoughts around digital commerce landscape and some of the trends that we're seeing, and want to get some feedback from the audience on a couple key points. Then we want to talk about what are some of the keys to an outstanding customer experience. So how do you really deliver that experience that's going to make a difference and increase digital adoption by your customers? We'll then go into some examples. We're going to do a brief review of some of our customers and how they use and leverage some of the key capabilities to succeed in B2B digital commerce. Then we'll jump right into the panel, which is, I think, will be very interesting to hear from some actual customers as to their experience. Very diverse companies, very diverse experiences, various varying points in the process of moving to digital commerce as well. So Smarter Commerce, we've been around this year 30 years. And 20 of those years we've been offering Smarter Commerce products to help customers have J.D. Edwards connected commerce, payments, and retail capabilities. And over the 30 years, well, 20 years that we've been in the Smarter Commerce product arena, we've completed over 500 projects with our offices across the US, Canada, and Latin America. And really, the goal is to really provide a simplified solution to help customers really extend their J.D. Edwards capabilities to the sales channels that are more digital in nature, and even to support, of course, physical sales channels. So if you have a counter operation and some network of stores around the country, you can also support that with Smarter Commerce. Customers, we have quite a few, about 150 J.D. Edwards customers, all Enterprise One J.D. Edwards customers, most of them at 9.2, but I'd say that almost all of them at 9.0 forward to 9.2. And they span a great number of industries: manufacturing, distribution, life sciences. We have as well construction and home building, even real estate, commercial real estate companies. So a very broad range of industries. You can see here our digital commerce panel is highlighted there in the orange rectangle. So you'll see the companies that'll be sharing some of their experience and insight. And on this slide are companies that are smaller than 100 million. So Smarter Commerce is not, we don't require you to be a very large J.D. Edwards customer. Our largest J.D. Edwards customer is on the top left of that screen is Lindy, and they're about $30 billion. So big, broad range there, and we can deliver value across that entire spectrum for customers. So what is Smarter Commerce? What's an overview of Smarter Commerce? We have basically 5 product pillars, and the core is really to deliver solutions that unite commerce, payments, and retail. That's really our focus as a provider of solutions for J.D. Edwards. Now, payment processing, that means providing customers with alternatives to receive payments however they see fit, right? So you want to give them alternatives. That could be credit card, that could be on account. B2B on account will be the large majority. But it could be credit card, it could be an ACH payment. If you're from Canada, it could be an EFT payment. And we have customers using our payment platform in probably a couple dozen countries. So we have a broad offering there. Digital commerce, what we'll focus on today, but it always brings payments with it. And here we support B2B, but we also support B2C. So if you have both requirements, we can help you in that area. Retail, a little small section of J.D. Edwards customers that have retail. We really fill that requirement very well, a very unique capability. Customers can be as small, like, for instance, Travel Pro might have 10, 15 locations across their retail network, and then we have another customer that has 400 locations in about 37, 38 states. So we can span the gamut there. And then I'll highlight our Avitex connector. Avalara is a partner of ours. We've built a connector that allows JD Edwards to work seamlessly with the Avalara cloud-based platform, and we're seeing a very rapid migration of customers from Vertex to Avalara because of the added capabilities that they offer. So digital commerce, what is digital commerce? Gartner says that it really is around enabling customers to get service and purchase goods in a fashion that can do that self-service interactively. It really requires you to bring together not just software. It's not a software problem. It requires people, processes, technology. Software is one piece of it, but you really have to have a complete approach to really serve your customers. And you have to understand your customers to make sure you know what the use cases are, what are the needs that they have. And at the end, that's the way you deliver a great customer experience so that they can really go through that journey successfully. Now, I want to talk about some of the trends and landscapes. And for here, I do want to ask a quick question of the audience. How many of you have a B2B digital commerce platform running? Okay. Probably, I'll say, maybe about 35% of you put your hands up. How many of you, if in addition, let's say you don't have one running, but now you're evaluating or considering one, you're talking about it internally as a strategy to go forward? Okay, probably another 20% there. So here's what I want to share. Some of the trends is that it's getting pretty high right now in terms of companies that are at least engaged in moving towards a digital commerce solution. They may not have selected one, they may not have implemented one, they're not using one, but they are seriously thinking about it and recognizing that it's necessary. And 98% is a big number, and frankly, it means that if you're not in that process, you really are potentially at risk of being left behind. So the title of our presentation, Lead or Get Left Behind, that's the point, because your competitors are doing it at this point. So it's very important to be looking at that. It doesn't mean that your customers have to buy product online. You can deliver a digital commerce platform that provides information 24/7 about your products, about the status of orders, about availability. All this information could be tremendous value to your customers, the difference between staying and going somewhere else, right? Now, another thing to consider is that there's a new generation of B2B buyers. It's the new generation of workers. And those workers, are expecting to be able to do business online with you. And a third of B2B buyers, according to this e-commerce survey, consider having a digital commerce platform to be critical to their decision to do business. So there may be 5 suppliers to pick from. If you're the one that doesn't have it, you may be at a huge disadvantage to the other 4, and you may lose out on that potential business. And then when it comes to the actual digital commerce experience, it's not just about placing an order, like I was saying. It's servicing the customer. There's discovery, product discovery, service discovery. Then there's going further to potentially seeking a quote. And then there's potentially at the end, well, then now you get the order. Now the revenue comes in. But it's that whole process, and it's being able to give the information to your customer that they would normally need to pick up the phone, send the email, or engage otherwise with you, that you can eliminate those touch points, and that's where the real value is in digital commerce. So the transactions, yes, you have to do that, but you really need to have much more than the transactional activity. Some of the benefits, and this is a very partial list, but companies, according to the survey, indicate that they get increased revenue growth from just offering the platform. And why is that? It's because you have companies that can now see, customers are able to see the information, they become exposed to new products. So you can upsell, cross-sell, just make things visible to them. I mean, even our company, sometimes customers don't know that we do X because we just haven't delivered that message. So this is another touch point to make sure, and that'll drive more revenues. You'll get revenue growth from organic search, where customers can find you, and then they learn about your products. Maybe they need to have an authorized relationship to log in and transact, but they find you, and that triggers then the next step. And then cost reduction. Every e-commerce order it's almost like increasing your margin on those orders by possibly 10% because you've kind of flushed out all of that admin cost. And I think on the panel, there's some folks that have real concrete examples of that. So some of the benefits there. Now, what are the keys to an outstanding customer experience on a digital platform? Basically, two main things: reliable self-service. And reliable is important because if the information you put in front of the customer is not accurate, not just close to accurate, it's got to be exact. It's got to be the source of the truth in that information. You're not going to be successful in digital commerce. And then you need to provide them the visibility to the information they want. And if we really look at that, we have J.D. Edwards really at the core. It's the foundation for all the information around whether it's ordering, inventory checks, pricing, any sort of order history, payments that customers want to make. J.D. Edwards is at the core, and that's really a key to the outstanding customer experience. And why is that ERP connection critical? It is, again, it's the source of the truth, is you're leveraging that. We have done so much business with companies that have tried to take the ERP silo, take another e-commerce solution in a silo and try to connect them. Data synchronization with 100% accuracy is difficult. And if you only get 95% accuracy, you failed, and your customers your experience won't be sticky. They won't come back because they lose confidence. It's like when somebody doesn't tell you the truth, you lose confidence then, in a relationship. Same thing. So all of that information is in J.D. Edwards, whether it be inventory, pricing, payments, all of that information is in J.D. Edwards. We connect the information from the ERP into your digital commerce solution, and as a result, you then have at least the information and the business logic taken care of. But that's not enough. To build a website, you need a platform to be able to build a website. So we partner with Progress Sitefinity to deliver a digital experience platform. It's used by about 30,000 websites across the globe in probably 70 to 100 countries. And that gives us the ability to build the website, deal with all the content that's not naturally in J.D. Edwards. J.D. Edwards doesn't do product images well. It doesn't handle a deep, rich content, whether it's videos or other information, blogs, etc., news information. It doesn't handle that well. But a digital experience platform does, and then we unite the commerce piece to it, and that really gives you the overall solution. We get rid of the complexity because we've got the integration pre-built for you, and then with the digital experience platform, we bring it all together, and that gives you the overall ability to deliver that digital commerce experience. So really, the key is that integration between the solutions, and you got to get beyond the basics. It's pretty straightforward that every e-commerce platform can take an order, can give you a price, can tell you availability. Generally speaking, it may not be accurate depending on what you're using and how up-to-date the data is, but it can do that. But can it handle, from a B2B standpoint, the complex scenarios? So CPQ, configure, price, quote, configured orders, being able to take a quote and process a quote, deliver it back to the customer, not so easy. And to be able to do that with the J.D. Edwards configurator. We talk about things like vehicle and equipment fitment. All right, you need to know that the product fits whatever your specific use of it is. That's not something that's easily addressed. We take care of that. You have large customers that insist that they don't want to use your website to place orders. They use Ariba. They use SAP Ariba. They use another e-procurement platform, and they basically put it as a requirement. You either do this or you don't do business with us. Simple. In that case, you better have B2B punch-out e-procurement support in your platform. So these are the kind of capabilities that Smarter Commerce delivers for our customers to make sure that they can go into that B2B digital commerce arena, and they have all the tools they need to be successful and engage with customers and grow business. So with that, what I'm going to do is ask Diego Fernandez, our Director of Product, to come up and share with you some of our customer experience and some of these capabilities that really mark the difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Fermin. Again, my name is Diego, and I'm the Director of Product here at Smarter Commerce. And what I'm going to be going through is a little bit more granular, going into things that you should think about if you're going to be deploying a B2B e-commerce solution. These are some best practices that we found in working in this arena, and we're going to explore some of these. I'll try to get through as many as we can over the next 20 minutes or so, and then we'll leave the last third of the presentation for our panel so that we can go through some questions and answers with them. So let's begin. The first thing is search engine optimization. Extremely important. Today, probably when you go home or you go online to buy something for yourselves and you go on and you search, in Google or you search on Amazon, you're looking for something personal. Well, same as buyers. Buyers will go online and key in, into the Google search and look to see whatever products they're looking for so that they can find that product. And the goal is to optimize your search, your products, your website to come out hopefully in that first page, hopefully in that first, second page of those products, so that if you're, once it's found, they can go in and present that product or functionality or capability or your solution. So this is one of our customers, IDEX Health and Science. They sell all types of products into laboratories. They do a lot of optical filters. They do lenses. They do all of those types of equipment-based products for the health and science industry. So very important is to work on, obviously, optimizing that search capability. Now, in addition to that, once they find you, you want to have a robust on-site search that'll help your customers navigate through your products. Because typically when a customer comes to a website, and we'll go back and look at one of our other customers here, typically when a customer comes to a website, they don't normally want to fumble through your catalog. That some may, just to see what kind of offerings, but if they're looking for a particular product that you sell, they want to be able to start keying in words and getting results or search results depending on what it is that they're looking for. You want to give them search suggestions, you want to give them product suggestions based on all of those keywords that they're entering. So again, they can easily click through and find that group of products that they're looking for. And then sometimes you may be giving them, hundreds of products that meet those keywords. Well, you want to be able to associate what are called attributes, characteristics, to those products so that, again, your customers can take those products and narrow it down to specifically those products that they are interested in by selecting maybe a specific diameter or selecting a specific component size. So giving them quick and easy couple clicks to find the product that they need and then drill into that product to see if it meets specifically their requirements. Just like another customer of ours, it's on the panel today. Not only will customers search by keywords of the product or of the part that they're looking for, but a lot of customers are going to search by a serial number, or in this case, a VIN number. So they bought a vehicle from you, and now they need parts for that vehicle. They bought a piece of equipment from you, and they need parts for that equipment. So again, and let's go out to see another customer. I'm going to use my little cheat sheet here for this VIN number, so I don't have to type it through. But here, Morgan Olson, they go, a customer will come here and they'll just type in their VIN number to their vehicle and be able to search to find their vehicle and drill into all of the parts that make up their vehicle. And then from there, maybe drill down into specifics of what they're looking for to replace. Maybe the vehicle got into an accident and they need to replace the rear bumper of that vehicle. And what are the different components that are needed? Make it easy for them, make it easy for your buyers, for your customers to find specifically what they need to purchase. That's the goal of first public searches, SEO, and then on-site searches within your specific websites. Another thing you want to be able to do is, obviously, a lot of customers, they come to your site, they find the product, but they want to know what else you do. So you want to give them easy navigation, ways to find other products that they may be of interest, to see what else you sell or what other components may be out there. And again, here, another customer of ours, Lindy, has different product groupings that the customer can easily navigate through, click into their grouping, see the different categories that are in there, get counts for the different categories, again, drill down further and continue to drill down within those categories so that they can get their product lists that meet that category, get pricing, and then again use attributes to even filter it further so that they can get specifics to what they're looking for. In this case, we're looking for an air filter, which I found here, and I can drill down even further again to see if it matches what it is that I am looking for, to see the enriched content to this product, to see the specifications of this product, to read more details on this product, all of that information found at the fingertips of the buyer so that they can have confidence that this is the product that they need to purchase. See the pricing, see the availability, to see how to order it for delivery or to be picked up at a warehouse or store location if you have outlets and so on. So again, things you need to consider as you launch your B2B e-commerce site. Continuing through, as we talked about search, we talked about navigation, you really need to also think about cataloging. How are you going to catalog your products and personalize catalogs for customers so that they can see the information that is specific to them? For this, we're going to go and see one of our sites here. This is our demonstration site that we have. This is a demonstration company. And again, here, you want to give them different catalog views of the different product lines that you may have with easy navigation and groupings. There may be different ways that you want to present yourself for each of the products and product lines that you sell. You want to give them the capability of easily finding that product, drill down into that product as we just saw, filter down to the specifics, and be able to provide them enriched content and information with maybe multiple images, pricing, so that the customer can easily click through to evaluate your product. You may want to incorporate videos to your products and solutions, guides to assist your customers, and you want to have specifics and enriched content on all of the functionality and features of a particular product or in specifications, including if you provide any documentation, user manual, guides, to allow your customers to easily download that information and view that information right online at their fingertips so that they don't have to be fumbling through. All of this information is important because that's how you make a customer sticky. They want to come back because they can rely on the information that you're providing them. How to use your products, how to install your products, other products that may be of interest for upselling and cross-selling of products, all of that available at the fingertips of the customer. Now, in addition, you want to personalize, meaning here, I'm not logged in, I'm just a shopper, an unidentified consumer maybe at this point. I found the product, but maybe I'm a return customer and I already have an agreement with you as an organization. I get special pricing. Once I log in, let me go ahead and log in as a return customer here. And let's go ahead and look up that same product we just saw. That product, if you recall, when I wasn't logged in, was $229.50. But I have, again, a relationship with you. I get certain discounts. You want to personalize the information to them, not just visually, but things like pricing, inventory availability, where you buy from, warehouses, and so on, all available to them so that they know that, and they can have confidence that this is the price that I'm supposed to pay. You can do things like volume discounts. You should present all of that information right at the fingertips of the user, so again, they have full confidence in what they're seeing. All right, let's continue to walk through some of the other capabilities. A lot of times, searching and drilling down through catalogs sometimes isn't enough. Sometimes you need to guide the customer to what they need. And that's where product finders and wizards come in to help your customers find those products. So let's look at an example of that. If I go over here to this catalog grouping of products, we have here a wizard, a product finder. And a product finder, what is it? It's a set of questions that you've already predefined to help your customer find that product within that grouping. And you define all of these questions and navigate them through. So for example, I'm interested in a television. Well, what's the display size or the display area you're looking for? Well, I'm looking for a 50 to 59 inch. Okay, well, these are all of your options so far. Well, how many HDMI ports do you need on this TV? Well, I need at least 3 ports. And what's the price range you're looking for? And then this is the price range. Well, here are my 3 products that came up based on the simple questions and answers that the customer, the buyer, is going through and posing. Once I have those, then what is typical? Well, I want to go through and compare these products so that I can see, well, what's the difference? Why is one priced at one price and others at others, and so on? I can see all of the specifications, and I, as a buyer, can cross-compare and see which is the right product that meets my needs. These are the type of things that in a B2B world you want to be offering to your customers, which is an overlap. If you buy online today, for you personally, you probably find a lot of these same features. Well, buyers are doing very much the same thing in that B2B arena. You also need to be able to help your customers, because buy, sell of a stock item, sometimes very simple, but you got to be able to support things like product configurators. If you use Sales Configurator within JD Edwards, you want to be able to, again, support that right on the site, allowing your customer to find the product group or the product that they're looking for, and if it's something that is customizable, to walk through and the steps to customize that product to meet their specific needs. Here is a sample, sales configured laptop that I, as a user, can walk through depending on the various options and components that are available to it, and be able to select. And as I'm selecting the various options, it's repricing and validating my configuration against the configurator that I have, in JD Edwards. And giving me each of the possible options, and if it's a multi-level, again, you'd go through, and as you select, it's making and repricing and validating each of the options that I have within that sales configurator. You want to be able to support on the website all of the different product types that you sell internally within your ERP, whether it's a configured product, whether it's a kit, whether it's a matrix item, a color, size, style type item, a shirt, or all of the different types of items that are supported within Edwards. You want to be able to make it available to your customer base and your buyers out there in the B2B world. Another area that again, you may want to consider if you're in this arena is fitment. Well, what is fitment? Is a lot of you know it as your make, model, and year, with your automobiles, but it applies also in other industries. Cars obviously is the most popular. This is an example of one of our customers and their fitment product configurator where you walk through selecting the different make, model, and year and what you're looking for. Here we're selling for truck caps and tonneaus for pickup trucks. And you walk through and you select each of the components, and then it starts giving you each of the variants that you can have depending on what it is that you're looking for. Again, another sample of a configurator type style, not just J.D. Edwards sales configurator, but here in this case, a fitment style configurator. E-procurement catalogs, very hot topic now. A lot of times, especially in large organizations, they don't want to go to your website to place the order. They want to go right from their purchasing system, whatever that is, Ariba or whatever purchasing system they want. And they want to be able to punch out to your catalog of products and be able to purchase that. Well, here is an example of that. We're going to go ahead and go out from a catalog procurement system, and we're going to jump out and punch out to the Lindy catalog system. Let's see here, refresh. What happened? I lost connectivity. Let's try that again. There we go. So again, I punched out from my e-procurement system back out to Lindy to see the catalog of products. Here I can, again, go through the different family of products that I normally buy from them. I can drill in to see more products, but I know what I'm looking to purchase. I already had a product in my cart from before that I placed right before the presentation in my persistent shopping cart. I may go in and type in my keywords of what I'm looking for, be able to, again, drill into that product, see information on it. This is what I'm willing to purchase. This is what I'm looking for. I need 4 of these. Add that to my shopping cart. Obviously, it will go ahead and re-extend my cart with the products that I'm adding. Here I've added my products. Here are all my products in my cart now. I can go through, review my order, and go ahead and place it in and transfer my order into my procurement system. So here I go through my checkout process, validate that everything is good, verify the information, and finalize my transfer order and place that in, and I'm done. So these are the type of things, especially with large, let me back up. Large organizations, you need to be thinking about, e-procurement systems so that and tie into those so that customers can easily pop out of their procurement system, punch out to your catalogs of products, be able to purchase and then transfer and place their orders. We talked a little bit about this earlier, and customers, when they come to your site, aren't just, a lot of times, yes, they know what they need, but a lot of times they need information more than they need to buy a product from you. You want to provide them that information. You want to enrich that information, provide detailed descriptions of it, provide multiple images, videos of your products, technical specifications, attributes of it. Allow them to download MSDS sheets and other instructional guides and so on and so forth. And you want to be able to do cross-selling and relate other products that they may be of interest because of the product that they're looking for. So all of this, we saw a little bit of it earlier. Let me go out here. And we saw a little bit of this before when we were looking at one of the products here. Let me go back to that drill set that we were looking at earlier. And here again, a good example of the different types of enriched content you want to set. A lot of this isn't in your JD Edwards ERP system, so you need to extend this. And this is where we've taken the Sitefinity DXP platform, a content management system, and we're sitting on top of JD Edwards with that, integrated real time with your JD Edwards. And we complement all of your JD Edwards information from a pricing, inventory, availability, warehouses, and so on. We complement that with enriched content, allowing you to manage multiple catalogs, personalize that information, and then be able to provide that enriched content back out to your customers. So very important to think about gathering this. And this is when I've done these projects with customers, this is probably one of the longest phases, meaning customers sometimes want to have all of this enriched content on day one, and they realize that's impossible. It's an ongoing, forever, work, meaning enriching content at the beginning. A lot of customers just don't have it, especially JD Edwards customers. If you have a website, maybe you can pull from that, or if you have a PIM system or a product data management system, maybe you can pull some of that in, start bringing it together, but you need to be on top of it and keep adding to it to provide more of that information at the fingertips of your customer base. As I mentioned earlier, personalizing catalogs, bringing catalogs together for customers. I'm going to just do another quick example here. Here I'm logged in as this customer. You can see I have 4 catalogs across the top. I'm going to just log out for a moment, and we're going to go ahead and log in. What does personalizing mean? Well, a lot of times we have customers, and let me just log in as a different customer here. A lot of times we have customers that sell certain products only to specific customer groups. Okay. Excuse me. What did I spell? Double I. There we go. So here, this customer, with the other customer, it was only 4 catalogs. Here, this customer got a 5th catalog. You didn't know that we just didn't sell tools. This is very, our company is very dynamic. We sell tools, we sell TVs, we also sell wine, okay? So if you need wine, come see me. But here, immediately, I've customized a catalog that only appears to a certain customer group. Maybe you have certain customers that you want to do that for. You want to create very specialized catalogs of the products and content that they are interested in, and it only appears to them. Maybe you have white label type products that you sell to certain customer groups, and it only appears to them. These are the type of things you need to think about when you deploy a B2B solution, so that it makes it easy for them to find what it is that they're looking for. Bulk buying, another hot topic. Bulk buying, you want to give quick order capabilities, you want to give import capabilities, all of those features. A lot of times your B2B buyer, they walk around their warehouse and they write down what they need, they type it into Excel, and they just want to come to the website, log in, and just upload it. They don't want to be typing in numbers or looking for it. They know what they want to buy from you. So quick order pads, easy to deal with you, and be able to import that order right from Excel. Reordering, another hot topic. Customers come to the site. Typically, they're buying the same things. A lot of repeat customers. You want to give them easy access to historical information, order history, be able to find their order. If all they want to do is repeat that order, click into the details of that order, and add all my items right back to my shopping cart and buy it again. Same thing, maybe they bought it months ago, years ago. They want to set up an order to repeat. I sell these products continuously. I'm going to just set it out there to repeat every 30 days, every 45 days, and it just auto places into it. Quotes and RFQs. JD Edwards handles sales quotes. You want your e-commerce solution to be able to not only allow your customers, your B2B customers, to create quotes with you, to ask for products that maybe they can't find on your website to see if you sell it, place those quotes, and then once you've managed and updated the quote and you've put it in a status that's ready to be converted and created, allow them the ease right through the website to be able to accept that quote and convert that quote into an order. These are the type of features you want to think about to really help your B2B customer be able to deal and work with you. Split shipments. A lot of times B2B customers, yeah, they're placing a very large order with you, but they may need half that order to go to one spot or a third of it to go to another spot. The website should be able to handle it. Just like you can with JD Edwards, ship some lines to one location, other lines to another. Same thing needs to occur on the website. Salesperson portals, another very large capability which you need to think about. Your own salespeople may visit customers and want to see the information online of their customers. And then lastly, and one of the biggest things that I want to stress is don't forget mobile. Everything we just saw needs to be available in a mobile device. Research has shown that even today with B2B buyers, more are doing purchasing now on their mobile device and looking up information on your sites via a mobile device and not just a desktop. So anything you do on a desktop, they should be able to do on their phone or their tablet. And you need to take that into consideration. All right. These are just some helpful tips that you need to think about. I'm going to go ahead and come back here, and we're going to now move the presentation into the next phase of it, which is a B2B e-commerce panel discussion. We're going to ask them to come up, and here are the four folks that are joining us for some Q&A and talk through of their experience.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Diego. Thank you so much. We'll have the panelists come up if you guys want to sit down real quick. So Diego's gone through a bunch of great examples, a bunch of great tips. I think it'd be really helpful for us to spend a few minutes and just talk to existing JD Edwards companies who have been successful in the B2B e-commerce space, who have a story to tell. They're using smarter commerce in different ways. They represent different industries, and so we've invited again a few of our customers to come up here. We've got Cardinal Glass represented here with George Bisker. We had Ford Meterbox represented with Cheryl as well, Morgan Olson with Bob, and then we have Bud Conlon from Sennheiser Electronics. So thank you guys for taking some time up here. I'll go ahead and start with Ben. I'll just kind of ask you a question. I'll hand you the mic here, and you guys can kind of play hot potato with this. Thank you very much. So Ben, you're with Morgan Olson, and Morgan Olson manufactures those step-in vans, those box vans that all of us see driving around our neighborhood with Amazon and UPS and FedEx, right? And obviously your customers rely on these vehicles to work reliably, right? I mean, it's critical that they keep working. And so consequently, it's critical that when they need a part, they need to be able to find the right replacement part really quickly. And they need to be totally, they need to be sure that they can trust when they're purchasing the right part. I think Morgan Olson's interesting because the site that Diego shared, morganolsonparts.com, allows your customers to search via a vehicle identification number, a VIN, so that when they see a list of parts, they can be totally confident those are the right parts. Can you share a little bit about what does it mean for your customers to have that kind of JD Edwards connectivity, for them to have that kind of reliable connection? What does that mean for your customers?
Well, that VIN search, can everybody hear me okay? There we go. That VIN search is a really hot ticket item because the specification on, let's say, a FedEx truck, to the casual eye, they all look the same. And the rear bumper, the example that he brought up, the specification on those changes over the years. And if you search rear bumper on our website, you're going to see 40 or 50 rear bumpers, and they look the same, but maybe the bolt hole pattern's different. Maybe, the spec on it has changed a little bit, and so that VIN search drives from our bill of material, and so having a filtered list of the exact parts that come from the bill of material is key, and that way they can add to cart. And with an independent FedEx contractor, he depends on that truck every day to cover his route. And if there's an accident and he needs repairs, he's down. You know, he doesn't have time to order a bumper, find out it's the wrong bumper, return it, order a new one. You know, he's probably having to rent a different vehicle to cover his route while his is getting repaired. So that's huge to have that integration. And some of the other cases where, you know, ours is a large organization spread out over multiple states, multiple branch plants, and somebody might call our accounting department and say, hey, you know, I'm a FedEx guy, I buy a lot of parts from you, you know, can I get a different price tier, you know, or a discount price or net 30 terms? And our accounting department sets that up for us, or for them. They don't tell us. You know, I'm sure nobody else has communication problems between different problems, not knowing what the left hand's doing, right hand's doing. And so as soon as the accounting department makes that change in JDE, it happens in real time on our website. And we don't even know it happened. It just comes through that way. So again, that real-time integration is huge.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you. So from a results standpoint, Ben, what kind of results has your team seen after launching B2B e-commerce? We know you were on a legacy platform. You moved to Smarter Commerce. You kind of did a fresh launch.
Yep.
What kind of results have you guys
seen?
seen?
So we've been with Smarter Commerce, you know, 5 years going on 6 years now. And each year we've been seeing our sales curve grow, you know, doubling. And so my sales curve looks like a hockey stick. And I thought, this is awesome because annual reviews are coming right up. And I make sure I get this slide in front of them that shows the sales curve. And it's got a long way yet to go. Yeah. So it just keeps growing and growing. And you know, we're excited.
Yeah, appreciate that, Ben. So Ben actually has a session later today that's going to cover his use case a little bit deeper with Smarter Commerce. So I appreciate the insight. A question for you, Cheryl. We'll pass the mic over. I know that, Cheryl, at Ford MeterBox, before you guys moving forward with Smarter Commerce, you guys were on a legacy e-commerce platform called ERP to Web by CDI. Maybe some of you guys are familiar with that. And the platform, you know, did have JD Edwards connectivity, but it really wasn't as reliable as you guys would have liked. What did that lack of connection or that inconsistent integration, what did that mean for your customers or for you personally as in terms of challenges? What did that create?
Yeah, when we to roll out the ERP to Web, a lot of connectivity wasn't there. We actually had to write custom UBEs ourselves inside of JD Edwards to populate a set of tables that then had to be copied into our DMZ to that website, and then CDI had a process that read those tables and populated their own SQL tables, SQL database tables, to be able to share information. So information was always 24 hours old. Those were big jobs. They run a long time. And then when we got to things like pricing, so Ford MeterBox, we sell Waterworks brass. We only sell to stocking distributors. So any of the valves and fittings that get the water to your house likely come from Ford MeterBox. So we have pricing specific customers. We have stocking warehouses over the country, and so we're going to ship from the warehouse you're closest to for better delivery. All of that logic that's in JD Edwards, they had to try to recreate in ERP to Web. So we found ourselves with a JD Edwards, an ERP system that at order entry could tell us where we were going to ship this to, what our customer's price was, and then try to explain to somebody from CDI, okay, here's how this works, you rewrite it. Well, obviously, if we would make a change in JD Edwards, as you talked about, all of a sudden we found out that it failed on our ERP to website, and so we'd have to call them and say, hey, you know, here's the change, here's what's wrong, can you fix this? And that sometimes could be a 2-week process, and so now we have, to Diego's point, we had incorrect information on our site for a couple weeks.
Yeah, appreciate that. So that's the legacy platform. You guys are moving now to Smarter Commerce. You know, maybe for you to share some advice with the audience, you know, for JD Edwards customers that are looking to get into e-commerce and they're looking for vendors, what are some words of advice that you would share about finding the right partner?
Sure. We are actually maybe going to go live on Saturday this weekend. So they're probably the newest Smarter Commerce customer up here. And we actually started looking again The CDI has been sold 2 or 3 times since we went with them, and we're starting our 64-bit upgrade. And so, as we reviewed all our ancillary platforms, we needed to make sure that they were ready, and that kind of gave us an opportunity to look at our B2B platform. We don't sell with our B2B platform, so Diego mentioned some of it is content delivery. So we have submittals, we have installation instructions for our products, a lot of those things. And what we learned from our first implementation again was how well does it integrate? How well is it taking advantage of the connectivity with JD Edwards? How much can it run JD Edwards logics? Can we call it JD Edwards business functions? Can we do those things so that we're sure that it is truly a copy of what we are seeing in-house, what we are doing? We do something. We talked, one of your slides talked about being able to reprint an invoice or a quote or something. We want our quote and our invoice to look exactly like the invoice we sent our customer. And so we had asked them to take the standard button to reprint an invoice or reprint a quote, and they actually call a UBE and JD Edwards for us. Our solution then that we use a create form product, but it then runs a report, it makes it look exactly like our invoice, and it emails them to that. So they don't necessarily print it there, but they get an email copy of exactly the invoice that runs out of JD Edwards. So the integration is the most important thing to me.
Yeah, appreciate the insight there. I mean, so critical. I mean, you go into the marketplace of e-commerce, there's a lot of mainstream e-commerce platforms out there. Many of them are wonderful, but having that JD Edwards integration and what exactly real-time integration mean, I mean, that's a separate category. So I appreciate that, Cheryl. A quick question for George from Cardinal Glass. So George, you guys have actually, in Cardinal Glass, you guys have been doing B2B e-commerce with Smarter Commerce for close to 10 years, which is quite a while, and you guys have seen a very good level of success based on our discussions. One of the keys to successful B2B e-commerce is customer adoption. I mean, if customers don't use the platform, then it's all for naught, right? That's what we mean by customer adoption, just getting customers to use the actual platform. So can you share some perspective on how Cardinal Glass has been able to drive customer adoption over 10 years and how you guys have been able to achieve that?
Certainly. First, I'd like to thank the Smarter Commerce guys for inviting me to be here. I appreciate it. I'm very passionate about this topic, so if anyone would like to talk to me one-on-one afterwards, I'd be happy to share more thoughts with you. But you mentioned this was a quick question. I have a not-so-quick answer.
Take your time.
Actually, I'm going to answer this in 2 parts. Surprisingly, and maybe somewhat not surprisingly, we found more resistance from our internal staff to an e-commerce site that we did from our actual customers. We had managers say to me, why would our customer ever want to go to a website and reprint their invoice when they can just call the customer service rep and ask for it? Why would they ever want to go online and type in their order when then they have to turn around and type it into their own system? Now that's a fair question, and I can touch on that later. But it was a little bit surprising. Anyway, in an ideal world, your executive management will, put together a business plan of what they hope to accomplish, and then they'll collaborate with the IT group and say, well, here's what you guys need to do in order to support that business plan. And as we all know, it doesn't always quite turn out that way. And we as IT leaders need to be able to speak up and recognize technology that can be strategic and can add value, and we need to promote that and encourage it and lobby for it and make it happen. And that's exactly what we did. And we started off somewhat selfishly in that we were looking to make our own lives easier. Cardinal does about 120,000 sales order lines a day, and of that 120,000, probably 85% of them come in through EDI. So our large customers who are ordering thousands of lines a day, nobody is typing that stuff in, right? That's all coming in through data files and landing in E1 automatically, untouched by human hands. Well, you have that 15% out there that does not do that. And you've got human beings that have to sit at a computer and type this stuff in, and they look at it and they have to decipher it, and it's a lot of manual labor for something that in all likelihood is probably not very profitable in the first place. So we tried a couple things. First, we thought, well, if they could just send us a spreadsheet, we can force that through the EDI system and get it into E1 without having to manually hand key it. And naturally, if you are familiar with the spreadsheet, you can type the Q instead of the 1. Now you have a letter in the number field, and they put ASAP in the date field. And this kind of data comes to your EDI system, and it just fails. And now you've got the EDI group that's contacting the plant customer service and saying, hey, your customer's file failed. And now the customer service is calling the customer and saying, hey, your file failed. And then they have to go figure it out. And now you've tripled the efforts of what originally was just a cumbersome hand key in the first place. So we said, well, if we can provide a website where it allows for a certain minimal level of data verification, you can't put ASAP in the date field. You have to put a number in the quantity. And it just stops all that error from coming to you in the first place. That would be a win. And that's kind of how that started. And then you go back to, well, okay, so now people are starting to see the value of this. Okay, well, that takes the burden off of the CSR. They can do more important things. They can be calling for new customers. They can be doing better things and typing data in. So what about your customers? Well, why do they want to do it? Well, maybe they don't want to. However, as Fareen mentioned earlier, there was a time where, it was an option to have an e-commerce site. Well, it's not really an option anymore. If you don't have one, you're probably behind just a little bit from your competitors. That younger generation, I've got a 30-year-old son, and if you think he wants to pick up the phone and talk to a human being, he does not. He would rather do anything than pick up the phone and talk to a human being. And that is that is the workforce that is coming into play at our customers. Again, those resistant managers, they said, oh, well, you just don't understand our customers. We've got people working off of a dirt floor, and if they have a fax machine, that's considered high tech. Well, that might have been true, 10 years ago. That might still be true at some places, but if they are still operating in that fashion, they're not going to survive very long. And they're being replaced by this younger generation that adopts technology, that wants to do things in an automated fashion, that does not want to call you on the telephone. So we're seeing that. However, again, we've now moved the burden of our people hand keying data to the customer hand keying data. Well, why would they want to do that? And maybe they don't. So what have we done? Well, we can, at the next time for a price increase, you can say, hey, we're going to give you a 10% price increase, but if you enter your orders online, we'll give you a 5% discount. We've done that, and that has worked very well. We've also been in a fortunate place where we're busy enough that we can actually go to those customers that are not necessarily profitable, that are very manual, labor intensive, and say to them, we love you, we love all our customers. However, we just cannot continue to service you unless you key your own orders into our e-commerce site. And we have done that, and mostly, I would say 99 times out of 100, they are more than willing to do it. So it's been a very interesting journey. Like I said, we saw more resistance inside than we did outside, but it's been fun. It's been 10 years, and I've got a session tomorrow at 8 o'clock if you want to come see me. And we went from 0 to 100 million in online sales. So it's been very successful.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you for the insight. I love that thought. It's that, a lot of times when in the world of e-commerce, the IT department tends to be reactionary, right? Marketing wants to do e-commerce, leaders want to do e-commerce, and then they kind of come to the IT department and say, hey, this is the platform, make it work. The reality is that IT leaders can also be proactive. Select a solution, like George said, that makes your job easier, right? So I appreciate that thought and the example from you guys. Maybe one question for Bud on the other side of the panel. Sennheiser Electronic is using B2B e-commerce for their dealer portals. And you guys use that across the US, across Europe, and even in APAC as well. So it's really a global solution with Smarter Commerce. You also have a team of salespersons who service these same dealers. And many times the sales team can look at a B2B portal and think to themselves, hey, this is actually competition for me. So how do you guys handle that at Sennheiser, right? What exactly is the perception that the sales team has of this dealer portal? How do you guys manage that relationship?
Yeah, our sales team is commission based. We sell B2B strictly, and they make calls, sales calls on these customers, or at least calling them up on a regular basis, introduce new products and take orders. They were not really hesitant to accept this because they were still getting commissioned on the sales regardless if they stepped in and picked up the PO or not. So they're still getting commissioned. The hardest thing about the sales force was getting them into a room or onto a training session to introduce the sales portal or Smarter Commerce to them. There wasn't a lot of resistance to that. They accepted it, and then actually they're using it quite a bit today. And to the other points that were made here, we've pushed a lot of the work that our order desk used to do, customer service. Is this available? What's this customer's price? Where's this order? Yeah. That's all done by either the customer or the sales rep themselves. They're not calling the order desk. So we've been able to reduce staff on the order desk, reallocate those resources somewhere else, but also improve the availability of product information when and where the customer wants to get it. Maybe they're working at 9 p.m. and our order desk is closed in the Americas. They can still reprint the invoice as soon as we get that button, or order more product. So the sales team has embraced it from that perspective. We've really pushed them to use that and not make the telephone call and bother somebody else in the office to find the information that's readily available for them.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you for that. So thank you to the panelists for you guys offering unique perspectives. I thank you for the different input that you guys shared. We've already mentioned a couple of the sessions that we have later today and tomorrow. Like we said, Sennheiser has a session, Morgan Olson, Cardinal Glass. Feel free to jump in on those. And I think we've got on the slide, Diego, you can hit the next slide there with some information on those. And feel free to find it on the app, put it on your schedule, and just kind of dive a little bit deeper. I also wanted to, if we could share that, Diego, in the next slide.
It's not moving.
Not working? Okay.
Technology.
No worries. So anyways, just put that out there for you guys as well. Additionally, you can come by and visit us at booth 406. We're out there, Smarter Commerce. If you have questions, if you guys are thinking about e-commerce, if it's something that your team is starting to explore, we'll be up here. Feel free to come up, ask us any questions. We have a few giveaway options as well and different ways to connect with us. So thank you guys very much for participating. We appreciate your attention and hope to connect with you guys for the rest of the conference. Thank you.